What are we talking about this week? Fear and hope. Why? Because I am nervous about the strikes that are currently happening. I'm not even part of these unions yet, and I'm nervous about them, but choosing to have hope, and I want to share my support for the strikes. So we've got the Writers Guild of America, or the WGA strike, which started 2.5 months ago, and the SAG-AFTRA strike, which started last week. This is the first time since 1960 that both the WGA and SAG have been on strike at the same time. That was a major deal, and this is a major deal. And as Fran Drescher commented on in her speech at the press conference which announced the SAG strike, the issues we are facing are something that is happening in every industry right now. I mean, we're likely to see UPS strike on August 1st, and that would be the largest strike in United States history. So I may or may not decide to do a research project history download type video on this at some point, but right now I'm just doing my best to absorb the information myself. If you want more information on these strikes, I recommend go to the mouths of the writers and the actors union representatives. Check out the WGA and SAG websites. I will have links in my YouTube description and in the comments on my TikTok video, so check those out. If you want to just search terms, Adam Conover is someone who I've seen who's been doing a really great job of detailing the writer's strike. If you're a fan of Adam Ruins Everything, he's probably your speed, but honestly, every writer I've seen has been doing a really good job of explaining and expanding on it. I mean, they're writers, they're good at explaining things. If you want more information on the SAG strike, I encourage you to look up Fran Drescher's speech from the press conference. Again, I'll have a link for that. Honestly, the whole press conference is very informative as just a place to start that research. There is so much more I could be saying about this right now, which is why I'm saying maybe I'll make a video about it at some point. But I encourage you to get your information straight from the picket lines. These strikes are incredibly valid and important, and the pushback on them has been appalling. Honestly, I just wish I was in LA or New York and I could go to a picket line and do something with this energy, but I am not. So I will channel my energy into writing, and if you are in a location where you can, go to a picket line. This is a wild moment in history, and we could use your support for the fear that we are facing. Commenting on fear, I do want to highlight that fear and hope are two different sides of the same coin. And I'm gonna do that through expanding on storytelling. Why? Because one, this is who I am, and two, I want to illustrate how important the work that writers and actors do and what they can bring to us. So I don't know if you're familiar with Marvel's Cloak and Dagger, but Cloak and Dagger are fantastic, and they're a couple of my favorites, definitely up there, because they represent fear and hope. And their story does a great job of depicting how both hope and fear come from the same place. So Cloak and Dagger, or Tyrone and Tandy, both get their superpowers from the same event. The same event occurs and infuses them with opposite powers. Tyrone, Cloak, it gets darkness or fear, and Tandy, Dagger, gets light or hope. And their story does a beautiful job of exploring the dichotomy between these two. But beyond that, in life, I think it's important to remember that hope and fear are two different sides of the same coin. They're both birthed from the same place within us, because when events happen, one or the other is going to be our reaction to them. Something I actually saw while I was researching the WGA strike was a conversation between Adam Conover and Daryl Atkinson, who is a civil rights attorney and also the co-founder and co-director of Forward Justice. And Atkinson said that hope is a discipline. It is a discipline that we have to study. It is a discipline that we have to practice. And it's easy. Like when you go to the gym, it's easy to push a bar when there's no resistance. He goes on to explain that we have to genuinely exercise it, though. We need to practice our hope and faith against resistance. We need to exercise hope in hard times, because it's easy to be hopeful when everything's going great. But, he says, you gotta practice that hope, because if it's hopeless, there ain't no chance. But if we have hope, there is a chance. And isn't that just every hero's story, right? Every hero's journey. There's no such thing as a failure who keeps trying. However difficult it is to get back up again every time you fall down, however difficult it is to have hope that things will turn around. I'm sure you all have heard the phrase, bravery isn't not being afraid, it's doing the thing scared. Fear will always be there, ready to wreak havoc if we let it. But we get to choose if we are going to engage with it or if we are going to practice hope and fend it off. I actually had a friend remind me of a quote from Newsies recently: "Courage does not erase our fear. Courage is when we face our fear." And maybe we can't replace our fear with hope, but there's room for both. We will get through this, and any other personal battles we're facing, to hold strong. This too shall pass. Anyway, that's it from me today. Be true, be you, have hope. I'm Siobhan Younger, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, click whatever links exist. Otherwise, have a fantastic week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Final note, I've been signing ASL for a few years now. I'm not awesome, but I'm learning. And one of my favorite words is hope. And I remember when this was taught to me in my ASL class, and it was, my teacher talked about how there's a little dude, these are 2 levels, and the little dude is trying to jump up to the top level, and he's never gonna make it if he doesn't have hope. So that's why this is hope. And I love it. I hope you have a good day. Bye.